One of the most profitable film genres is horror. Why? Because people are cowards. People have always been easy to scare. Even the late 19th century, a time associated with science and reason, was deeply superstitious. All it took was a dark rumour and angry mobs would appear out of nowhere. In 1892, a vampire scare took hold of Rhode Island. 2 years later, an outbreak of seizures began to affect young girls in Montreal, causing many to believe they were possessed by the devil. And for decades leading up to this, many in London claimed to encounter a strange monster known as Spring-Heeled Jack. You see, horror existed long before video technology did, so it only makes sense that film fans would not need to wait long before their first scary movie. Going into 1896, the film industry had firmly seeded. In America, the first businesses devoted solely to showing moving pictures were opened, and in France, pioneering directors were experimenting with simple visual effects. Spearheading this was the filmmaker Georges Méliès, who, being French, was extremely weird. A lifelong magician, his background was as a stage performer, travelling all over Europe to carry out his illusions. So when he attended a showing of early film technology, he immediately wanted in. The show was run by two brothers, who possessed a type of camera called a cinematograph. Méliès tried to purchase one of them, but wishing to keep control of the market, they refused. So he travelled to London, where he bought a more rudimentary camera known as an animatograph. It wasn't exactly state-of-the-art equipment, but through trial and error, Méliès quickly gained expert knowledge in filmography. So in 1896 he began producing his own short films for public release. And as they were an immediate hit, he kept on making them. And when I say he kept making them, I mean he probably made too many. In fact, by the end of a year he'd made 80. Only 8 of them have survived into modern times, so let's face it, most of them probably sucked. But among those 8 is the world's first ever horror movie. Called The Devil's Manor in original French, it has come to be known by multiple names, like the Haunted Castle in America, or the Devil's Castle in the UK, but wherever it was shown, audiences were shocked. Set in a medieval castle, the film opens with a giant bat, who eventually reveals himself as the devil, and with the help of a magical maid has a woman appear from a cauldron. When 2 unlucky guards walk into the area, the devil then plays brutal pranks on them, the kind only Satan himself would do, like poking them with sticks, or conjuring spirits to torment them. As it turns out, one of the guards ran away and the other defeated Satan with a giant cross. Though it might look silly to us now, people at the time had never seen anything like this. People were stupid and gullible. They were still scared of gypsy curses, or the Chinese. So when this trash was released in theatres, a lot of audience members actually fainted. Perhaps it was his transformation from bat to humanoid, making an otherwise comedic routine scary to 19th century eyes. This element, along with the devil's weakness being a cross, has caused many to identify the creature more as a vampire than Satan. Either way, it was a big success, and with a runtime of 3 minutes, much longer than most others of its day. Strangely, Méliès actually remade this film just 1 year later. Shorter than the original, the remake is only 45 seconds long, reflecting lessons learned by its creator. It is faster paced, cutting out unnecessary elements and showing off more visual effects in rapid succession. Also in 1897, the English film pioneer George Albert Smith published his own film called The Haunted Castle. Many suspect it was a remake of Méliès's work, but like with so many early films, it has been lost to history. So there's no way for us to truly know. Speaking of which, The Devil's Manor was also thought to be a lost film, disappearing at some point in the early 20th century. For decades it was gone, and most expected it to remain that way. But there was one surviving copy, hidden away in a junk shop in New Zealand. Year after year it went unnoticed, as many hidden gems in junk stores do. Yet finally in 1985 it was identified for the treasure it is. Because of its chance discovery, the world's least scary movie lives on. And to end this video, I'll show The Devil's Manor in its entirety. But before that, my 2024 Halloween playlist is now live on my channel. So if you want to relive some of my more spooky videos, it will be there for the next week or so.